This is the late night show. The late night show with the progressive martial artist with socialist MMA. You can call me Nick as well. I need to change my name. Maybe something more professional. Because I'm already complaining that people don't take me seriously. But that's why I don't use like all the real journalists, all the real big people. They they use the real name, right? Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Mate, Jimmy Dore. Meanwhile, I'm still using aliases. Like people don't know who the fuck I am right now. All right, let me tweet the YouTube link out. I got my Twitch one out. I know most people like going on YouTube. Actually, my Twitch been doing really well, man. It's kind of crazy. I'm at 1,100 subscribers on Twitch now. It's kind of crazy, and I'm on the climb. I'm on the climb. Liberals always trying to mock me for my numbers, but like, bro, I just got started. I literally just started doing this, so I'm doing it. I'm learning as I go. So I appreciate all the homies that's watching right now. We're gonna cover Trump being banned. I was like, man, I'm gonna take a break today, but they summoned me for a late night, for the late show. I'm gonna give you guys comments. Hopefully, I got some coming in right now. Live now discussing Trump getting right. Come on, bro. Click on that. How y'all not click on that? I put it under my other tweet as well. Because I think people want to hear what we got to say. And guess who is coming on? You already know. You already know what time it is. Jackie. She better come in here today. Because she messaged me on Twitter. She was finning to talk about this. My boy Mitch Randall agrees with me. That's what I like to see. Fuck, was someone well, I can't find my other tweet. My page is insane. My page is insane. My boy Mitch Randall. I need to have him on Break the Duopoly. I work with him on ranked choice voting. Damn, we got some people in. Oh, sorry, I'm like ranting. I got some viewers in here now. 21 on Twitter and YouTube. Sienna, what's up? You already know she's my co-host here. Leftist mom, hey Nick. I've been on Twitter for mental health reasons. Yeah, I've been trying to take a mini break myself. Like the random tweets you see me put out are just like shit I just think of randomly. But I've been trying to stay off the timeline for the most part. But I'm glad to see Leftist mom watching. You one of my favorite people I see on Twitter. This Twitch notification of the first I'm hearing about Trump. Yeah, so you hype about Trump? Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. So the whole thing is, this is not new to me. I've been telling you guys on my show. This is something I be tweeting about all the time. Censorship and why we should break up big tech and the oligarchs. This is why I'm for this. So I'm not gonna mourn Trump. Watch out, mourn Trump. Because progressives, people on the left, people who are anti-establishment, we are against censor. We're constantly being censored. And don't get it twisted. You're gonna have censorship that was gonna start no matter what against the left, regarding Joe Biden. No matter what, it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. So fuck Trump. I'm not gonna mourn him. But now I think as a left, we need to focus on how we stop them from cranking down on us. So I already got someone jumping in. Is that Jackie? No, that's RJ. What's up, RJ?
What's up, RJ?
Jackie better jump on because she want Phoenix to talk about this. When this story broke, like people was going crazy. I'm like, man, I already fucking knew it. Like I already knew this shit was gonna happen.
Exactly. Like everyone knew it was gonna happen at some point.
Especially when I didn't know they was going to do it now, but now they have a reason to do it now because of the terrorist attack, pretty much at the Capitol with its supporters or whatever. I don't like calling it a coup because it's not a coup. Like I am harsh on them. I'll call it a terrorist attack because that's what it was. It literally was a terrorist attack. Yeah, with complicity. I'm sorry, Sienna, I'll let you chime in here soon. But with complicity with the police state, because there's already reporting that cops. You had literally cops letting them in. You had undercover cops that were literally in the MAGA protest. So it's like, bro, you don't stop calling it a coup. It was a terrorist attack and you have the white police state, the cops that was on their side. But what you about to say, Sienna?
The thing is, like, I wouldn't even classify this as a terrorist attack. I would just classify this as a giant disorganized mob of idiots.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
No plan whatsoever.
They still
I'm just saying,
better than the left.
Bro, I said that, and that tweet blew up, and people got so mad at me, bro. People got so mad. I'm not here. Y'all know I hit a chord when I said that.
Their plan was get into the building, and after that, it's clear that they had no plan. They got into the building.
I think they were shocked.
Arguing the perfect strategy to enter the building. The right is already in the building. We're outside still talking. That's the difference between the left and the right.
It's kind of funny because I don't think they even expected that whole thing to work out the way it did. I mean, there was obviously some inside people, but I think there was a lot of them who was like, yeah, we'll do this protest, and then they almost got trapped in the way. like these very bourgeoisie Trump supporters that thought they can do, because they have white privilege, and they still will get the white pride, the white privilege deduction on their crime no matter what. Like if you have a Black Lives Matter protester, if you have anyone of color, anyone in a disenfranchised community that actually fighting against the establishment and against its power, they will be fucked right now. They'll be fucked right now. But these people may get a year or so. They might get a slap on the wrist. 10 years at most. That's my guess. 10 years at absolute most. If they give them more now, I'd be shocked. But what were you about to say, RJ?
I said the right is actually smarter. See, we're on Twitter, the biggest platform in the world. They go on some rinky-dink parlor app and organize, and they don't get caught until after the fact. We organize on Twitter. They catch us before.
That's funny. Yeah.
And also, too, the only time the left ever did something right was when the teenagers went on TikTok and like spoofed Trump's rally in Tulsa. That was the only time we did something effective in terms of like massive like that. But like the right is once again showing us again that they're better at, getting the fuck out there.
Jackie here, let's go. Go ahead, RJ.
Disagree with their merits, but like you can tell that they hit the streets faster than us. While we're arguing about the correct, non-controversial way to get stuff done, they're saying, "Fuck that, we're already out there getting stuff done." So that's the difference.
Jackie's in the house.
Yeah, I feel like you are trying to get. I feel like your 2021 goal is to get canceled every single stream. How you gonna tell a black woman you better come on my show? Please.
Oh man, see, I need to watch my tone. I get in trouble
for telling black women what to do. Okay.
I need to watch my tone. See, that's why I get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
People
I said like 3 times. Jackie better come on. How you, Negro?
I didn't think you was listening. So I was like, I'm gonna talk some shit real quick. I didn't know you actually was listening. I'm like, if she was listening, I thought she would be on. But I guess you gotta get ready, right? But let's not get canceled tonight, because we already probably gonna say some shit that's gonna get a lot of libs mad today. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to get canceled for my tone. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been trying to do it. Like, can I just say this right now? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you're mad at anything I tweet. If you're watching this, by the way. My tweet blew because I said what RJ said. I said my joke was it was a joke. It was an obvious joke, but it was mired in some truth. I'm like, the right is more willing to do a revolution than the progressive left, and then you got people super serious like, oh, this technically isn't a revolution, blah blah blah. Bro, this is a joke. You breaking this shit down like I'm literally trying to give a scholarly breakdown of what happened, and also what I'm saying is true, because the progressive left, they said, oh, we want a revolution, political revolution, hashtag no middle ground, and you guys you vote for a war criminal rapist, someone who was bought up by the credit card company his entire career. Fucking, that's not a political revolution. Stay mad. But we got Jack in the house, so that's gonna get me canceled today. Someone hears that, but I want people to know, because there's been a coordinated effort to go after a lot of leftists right now because Joe Biden about to get in office. Bro, everyone's telling me this, and I'm seeing it too. It's super transparent. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh sure, so it's just like mic drop and be like.
Yeah, I keep missing the chat.
Should have got canceled the first 10 minutes.
Oh, you were canceled.
The way you're saying.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I didn't get in this game to have a long career. I already know I'm gonna say some crazy shit, and then I'm gonna get a lot of people pissed off at me. It's gonna happen, so I'm not gonna hold back. I wasn't trying to do this. I'm a fucking martial art nerd. I don't care. Like, that's what I want people to understand. And my Twitter, like a lot of people, everyone was like, "Oh, you chasing clout, you doing all this stuff." I'm like, bro, I literally was just yelling to the void, and then I got support. Like, what? I didn't ask for this shit. But what you said, but what? Because I know Jackie, you're ready to go off about. Because based on what I saw you saying earlier. Can I put you on the spot? Can I put you on the spot without me getting canceled?
This time. No, yeah, I was just watching this. I don't think people understand gravity of what just happened. Like, a lot of people were like, yeah, it was Trump, fuck Trump, yeah, he said bad things, he was inciting, da 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 da. He's a sitting president of the United States.
Right.
Are we all forgetting that? Okay?
Like people not gonna
president of the United States.
Like he can be he can be silenced.
Doesn't matter that he is going to be out of office in 2 weeks. He is the president of the United States. Everybody wants to just fast forward to 2 weeks from now. But here's the thing, as I had people saying this in DMs as well, like, oh, he's only the president and name only for just a couple more days, and it's just that no. As long as he is commander-in-chief, he still commands the greatest military. I don't mean greatest as in best. I mean greatest as in largest by number. He commands the biggest military in the world. He still has control of the nukes. He can go to war with literally anyone. He can sign executive orders.
Yep.
He is still the president of the United States.
Yep.
And forever.
Whether you like him or not. And he won't be not the president until January 20th. We still have 2 weeks, y'all.
You know what I find very interesting? I find it very interesting that people put more energy into trying to get Trump impeached when he got 2 weeks left, and get him banned on Twitter when he got 2 weeks left, instead of getting people $2,000 stimulus checks and getting them health care. That's what I find interesting, right? Like people, that's what people are interested in. I'm like, okay, you can fight your fight, but you putting your energy in that, and you're not even doing what. Like, there are people literally starving right now, and the story came out with Joe Manchin. From COVID. Yeah, we can talk about Joe Manchin too, because I was gonna bring that up later since we're here, because I'm like
But we can't talk about performative votes. You know, we can't do performative stuff. Like, but impeachment is serious. But force the vote, you know, that's performative.
People are
and the thing that's pissing me off is this whole discourse around Trump, around the things that happened yesterday. All of that is ignoring the fact that COVID is ravaging this country and doing far worse. There's a new strand that may have started in the United States. So now you have COVID-21. We bypassed COVID-20. Fuck that. That's last year. We now have COVID-21. Okay? But anybody or how about the fact that, I saw that in New York, they threw out vaccines because they'd have such strict requirements for people to get them.
Yeah, I saw that.
They couldn't find enough people in fucking New York.
And that's why the liberals are pissing me off today, because Joe Manchin, he came out against $2,000 check, and you had immediately you had broken brain liberals. They were saying, well, if you actually listen to what Joe Manchin said, Joe Manchin actually believed that we should have 2,000 checks. You gotta wait he want to do the vaccine distribution first. I'm like, bro, you guys are fucking morons. They call survival checks for a reason. Like, they are survival checks. We can't wait until a vaccine is ready. Especially, what was the numbers you hearing, Jackie? Because I was hearing, June, where a lot of people are going to get the vaccine. Even if that's something you want to do, you want to get the vaccine, you got to wait till June to do that.
Okay,
so you tell them.
Going by... go ahead.
My point was, don't get to... My whole point at first was, if you want to have people to wait until the summer, or even if I give you a few months, they're called survival checks for a reason. People need them now.
Exactly. From what I heard, if you're gonna listen to Fauci, who I'm kind of skeptical of him, just because he's been caught lying so many times. Here's the thing.
Yeah, I heard you break it down.
Not a Republican, just because Republicans don't like him doesn't mean he's a good guy. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. All right.
Yeah.
He has lied several times, but this is what he said in regards to when the vast majority of Americans can get, and this is just Americans, by the way. So, we'll talk about implications of that later. But what he said was, we're going to do, first responders and, and elderly, and then this, they're going by the population, by who they think needs it the most. And it won't hit the general population until about April. And by the time all of the U.S. can be assumed to have had an opportunity to get the first, not both, because it's a 2-dose thing. The first would be about June for everyone in the U.S. to have had an opportunity to get their first dose, which means, so if this is the case, if everybody gets their first dose in June, and then everybody can get their second dose shortly out, I think you have to get it within 2-3 weeks. That means we're still going to have lockdowns in the summer because it takes several weeks for after everybody, basically with the vaccine, you're essentially wanting like herd immunity, right? Everybody gets vaccinated, and then once everybody is okay, then you can start rolling back all the restrictions and everybody can go, everybody's back to normal. That's like September, October, which means that most of this year is going to be various stages of COVID lockdown.
Right.
So, and that's if you go by Fauci, who is the same guy who said we don't need a lockdown this round, which is the second wave, which is already worse than the first one was.
And he also said originally, too, that we don't need to wear masks. That's not necessary. Initially, by the way, just for the record.
Yes, but then he came back and said that the reason why they said that was because they were afraid that Americans would buy out all the masks and then they wouldn't have any PPE for the actual people, which he has, there is a point to be made for that. But then again, it's like, well, you being a government organization or part of a government organization, how about you secure all the PPE for all of the people who need it, like for the hospitals and doctors and EMTs, nurses, people who need it first. Why don't you secure for them and then tell people, yeah, you can get it? Or how about this? Why don't you have certain manufacturers that are like, hey, we need to, like what Trump did, 6 months too late, go in and be like, hey, Elon Musk, you're not making Teslas anymore. You need to make PPE.
Yeah, I don't believe
that's Trump the whole point. That's the whole point of that rule. He can do that.
I don't believe Trump ever enacted the Defense Authorization Act, did he? Because people were.
He did. He just didn't do anything with it. He enacted it and then did nothing.
Gotcha.
But by the time he enacted it, it was we went on lockdown in March. He didn't enact it until May or June. And even then, he didn't really do anything about it. But if they really wanted to stop it, they could have enacted that in February. They could have been like, yo, we're seeing, so back, when the Congress members who were learning what COVID-19 was really all about were shorting stocks and shit, instead of doing that, they could have enacted this rule then and be like, hey, we're getting ready to come into a big old pandemic. We need to make sure we secure PPE, and then we need to get masks out to the general public so that we can keep everything going. They didn't do that.
Yeah, the problem with it was Trump, too, because you can't use the Defense Authorization Act if you're still claiming that a virus doesn't exist. So that's kind of the problem.
I don't remember him saying it didn't exist. He just made it seem like it was the flu.
Yeah.
He downplayed. Yeah,
Am I muted? Oh, so all right. I think I'm back on. All right, I'm back on. What I was saying, I think the stream. I think I was chatting muting the stream, but I was reading some of the comments and just what you guys were saying and what Meganator was saying Fauci reportedly how stock in the companies developing the vaccine. And I'm like, that's very interesting, very interesting. I just know he lied about in the very beginning of COVID. I'm like, why would you do that? And why would you undermine your own credibility by doing that? I just don't understand. It's so stupid. So I'm like, all right, he's kind of shady because I don't like when people get caught lying. When you lying about masks at first. But because I remember I had you on the show and you was telling everyone all the reasons why you didn't like Fauci. And I was like, okay. I can't really debunk none of this stuff. I don't know why people. And then you got people that holding him up as a hero. You got a lot of people that saying that Fauci should win like People of the Year and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, it don't seem like he has the best. I don't think he had the best setup. I don't think he had the best reputation for that. So, am I right there, Jackie?
Wow. Oh yeah. No. So okay. So according to to address all of that at once, when what CRSD Prince said, the plan was to downplay COVID in February, and Fauci reported stock in the company. Or no, that was Meganator. So when he was talking about, we were talking about Fauci downplaying in order to secure PPE. My point was there was a better way to do that. Yeah, Fauci did that, and he took the political way of just lying and saying there's no. He literally came on TV and said there's no evidence masks work. And now he's on TV every day saying we don't need another. At first he said there's no evidence masks work. We need a lockdown. Now he's on TV every day saying we don't need a lockdown. Everybody wear a mask. The problem is he could have told us truth. He could have secured PPE for the people who need it without lying. Because again, he is part of a government organization. They have the power to secure PPE first before telling the public, hey, everybody go wear a mask. They have the power to order them, like what Trump did. He's an advisor to the president. He should have said back in February when they were giving Trump briefings on all of this, he should have said, here's what you need to do, or else we're going to have to go into a full-on lockdown. He should have said, you need to enact, I don't remember the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about, where basically you have to tell factories hey, we need you to start manufacturing. Thank you. She should have told Trump you need to authorize that now, and you need to start churning out PPE and ventilators, because remember we also ran out of those.
Right.
He could have done that in February, but he didn't. Instead, he chose to lie to us and tell us not to wear masks. You see what I mean? That's why I don't trust him.
Yeah.
There were alternatives to what he did. And yes, I do think the American people any kind of tragedy. It's just like a parent who doesn't freak out over a kid's injury. You don't want to alarm people because then people will be jumping off buildings and shit. So you want people to remain calm. So yeah, any president would have downplayed it, not to the point of denying it. That's not good. You don't outright lie about it and say, oh, it's the same as the flu. That's bullshit. But any president would have tried to downplay it and be like, no, this isn't good, but there's good science that says that it should be dealt with by, blah, blah, blah. But Trump totally went, off the rails and seemed like, oh, it's just a flu, it's fine. And because of that, yeah, millions of people responded by not wearing masks and just not listening to government agencies. But also, a good reason why some people didn't listen is because Fauci had out lied. Had he kept his respectability, more people would have listened to him, in my opinion.
So Chris Morlock, he's commenting on YouTube. Very interesting comment. You guys need to read about how Obama maintained a warehouse of $9.95 masks for years. And then Obama instructed none other than Joe Biden in 2014 to nix the program. I haven't heard about that, but once again, the incompetence of neoliberalism doesn't shock me. And once again, people think I'm taking it too far when I say I don't really expect them to do much better than Trump. I mean, Trump did a lot of big mistakes, but like we see the era with Fauci and the fact that Joe Biden is pretty much copying Trump's plan on COVID and keeping schools open, for example. So I'm not seeing any way he's gonna slow the virus down. I mean, he's lucky, I guess. The vaccine may come out. That may help. He may be lucky because it may stop on its own, but he's not going to do anything based on policy that's going to slow this down. Like, there's nothing he's going to do, or there's nothing that Hillary Clinton, nothing that the Democrats would have done that would have made it like the death count. Like, people are like, oh, you can put the death count is on Trump. Don't get me wrong. I think he do got to be accountable for that. But if Hillary Clinton was president, I don't think that should have been much lower. Look at Andrew Cuomo. Look at the job he did in New York. Look at California. All ran by Democrats. All fucked up too. I mean, I don't see them governing much better on this issue. And that's why I was roasting Joe Manchin now. And people was getting upset with me because after the Georgia Senate race, I was like, it's funny to me that you guys think that you guys getting $2,000 survival checks and if that is dependent on this race. Like, if you guys get it, it's not dependent on this race because we will always have blue dog Democrats like Joe Manchin coming out. They always strategically have the votes. Now, Joe Manchin would be the Joe Lieberman of the Obama years. I mean, this is what I said literally before this Georgia Senate race. I'm like, and I was vocal on my show. I'm like, okay, if you in Georgia, you can vote for whoever you want. If you don't vote against your Georgia Republican senators, that makes sense to me. But as someone who is in Missouri, who has no stock in that race because they don't support any of the policies I support, why spend any time of my day, any iota of my time, propping any of these people up? And I'm like, I just want to let people know, like, dude, I hope some of you guys actually don't think the Senate election actually will decide whether you get the 2,000 checks or not. And I've seen a lot of people saying today, a lot of liberals that may be in denial after Joe Manchin came out and kind of proved a lot of people's point. They said, well, there were some Republicans that was on board on this. Okay. So, once again, you gotta understand, they always strategically had the votes not to get the bills they want passed. I mean, they do the will of the oligarchy at the end of the day. Secondly, I think, like, they can prove me wrong, but you gotta be delusional if you think the obstructionist Republicans will give Joe Biden in a completely Democratic-controlled government that victory before 2022. Are you kidding me? Like, are you guys not paying attention how this shit works? Why Republicans for $2,000 checks before? Because Trump came out and said it. So Trump came out and said it. So you have Republicans that literally like, oh yeah, I support it. So now Trump's not there. I would love to see the reaction when you have Joe Biden and Democrats trying to take credit for this. And once again, people assume that I'm soft on Republicans. I'm actually harder on Republicans than you are. You guys give them more benefit of doubt than I do. I don't see them getting you guys the vote needed to pass this bill. And then you got Joe Manchin. There's going to be a few other blue dog Democrats that may come out as well against this if they need the votes they needed, because you already have the liberal media establishment doing jabs at it, trying to get people, trying to draw down support for it, even though it's overwhelmingly popular. So we see how it goes. But my philosophy is, as always is, this is why all I can call these things. I say the ruling class, they have to prove me wrong. Like, prove me wrong. Why are you guys propping them up, and why are you guys giving them more credit than they deserve? Like, I'd rather hold them to account, put pressure on them, put their feet to the fire instead of like, yeah, they're gonna do good things. They're gonna do good things. Yeah, we can't wait. We're gonna get $2,000 checks. That's why the first response I had to Ossoff and Twitter, I was like, what the fuck my $2,000? Where the fuck my money at? Because I want him to feel that pressure. That's the pressure you should feel, instead of you guys acting like cheerleaders, and then when they roll back on their plan, y'all like, oh, that's super disappointing. I'm like, I could have told you that. And then maybe that wouldn't happen if you guys actually held their feet to the fire. What's the first thing that happened after Joe Biden won? Stories coming out left and right. You know that plan Joe Biden said he's going to cancel student loan debt? Something that people said, what the reason why I should vote for him? Now that's not our priority now. Oh, you got to fight. You got to vote against the fascists. You got to vote against Donald Trump because his evil immigration plans that I report on my show all the time. But guess who hasn't mentioned ICE or any of the immigration policies that have been happening over there's like people understand. Like, I know there's a lot going on right now. But you know there are hunger strikes in COVID facilities right now, right? Because COVID conditions is so bad in these ICE facilities. So, where's the liberals? Are they covering that? Are they not covering that? I literally had to search deep, and you gotta find like left-wing media outlets that cover that story. And they do cover it. You're not seeing any of the liberal blue checks tweeting that out. They rather talk about fucking impeaching Trump, and they letting human rights violations go. You got cops still killing and making black people paralyzed. Go ahead, Jackie. I know I've been going. Go ahead.
That was the whole plan. The whole plan was we need a Democrat back in office so that we can stop worrying about what the government is doing. Not that the government will stop, but that the media won't report on it, so we don't have to think about it. We don't want to see our president angry tweeting, and we don't want to see the media up the president's ass about every little thing he's doing. So put in a Democrat so that we can go back to thinking that we're the best country on earth and we can go back to brunch. That's literally the whole point of the Joe Biden. That's what restore the soul of America means. It means go back to sleep.
That's literally. Go ahead, RJ. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to finish up with everything you said, people keep forgetting that during the Obama administration, Obama had like way larger majority than Joe Biden has now, and he couldn't get stuff done with those obstructions Republicans.
Yeah.
And the one thing we know about Republicans is that they know the Senate rule book and the House rule book more than they read the Bible. So if you think Joe Biden's not going to do anything with, especially with the slim majority in the Senate and in the House, and there's always just enough conservative Democrats to flip to harden any plan the Democrats have. And so people like Joe Manchin, Dick Durbin, all these like old, conservative Democrats, they make it very harder to get progressive legislation, even if you do have a big majority, because then you have just young blue dogs like John Ossoff, who just got elected. He scares me even more because no one's talking about him.
He's an empty shell. He's been against. He only was for $2,000 checks because it's a Senate race, and then people people were saying, oh, once again, go back to my earlier point where people were saying, oh, well, we have Republicans that may make over Joe Manchin. Like, bro, the Republicans were only saying that because of the Senate race, and they still was mostly against it. Now you got all this. You have A1 that's going to be soft on Joe Biden. You think the Republicans are giving that victory? And also, once again, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I do not believe Don Feinstein is voting for $2,000 checks if it comes down to it. I don't believe it. I'll believe it if I see it. Like, as you mentioned, RJ, Obama had larger majorities than Democrats do right now. And the Democrats is going hard right wing. Like, the Joe Biden economic advisors, Larry Summers, was one of the people that came against the $2,000 checks. I covered on my show. Joe Biden gave Democrats leverage to go weaker on their relief check negotiations. He's the reason why they did a $600 check. So then you have people like, oh, Joe Biden for $2,000 checks. I'm like, he's saying that just because the Senate race. We put pressure on him, and he literally had to come out and say that on the Senate race. I do not believe for 1 second that he actually gonna actually push his blue dog. He said he don't want to embarrass Republicans. He said I wouldn't even want to embarrass Republicans in the Senate. You think he don't want to embarrass Republicans in the Senate, but you think he's gonna put Joe Manchin? You think he's gonna push these blue dogs? Doesn't make sense. I would love to see him prove me wrong. I would love to see it because, as you mentioned before, and this is what Jackie said, the media, this is what they wanted. The liberal class, they wanted anyone to go back to sleep after Donald Trump lost. That's why they wanted Joe Biden. That's why they wanted a centrist so bad. That's why it was so important to defeat Bernie Sanders. And I covered this on my show. I'll pull it up again for anyone who didn't see it at the time. I mean, they're open about this. This is from the Atlantic. You have Jim Acosta, who became famous during the Trump administration because he was super harsh against the president. He was virtue saying about, oh, we are the fourth estate. We gotta fight against the government. Like he literally gave tours, a book tour, where he was giving speeches like, yeah, well I decided that I had to put my foot down. I can't stand by. Like he acted like he's some sort of hard pressing journalist. Meanwhile, he was fear mongering about Trump going against the freedom of the press. Meanwhile, he was trashing Julian Assange. Like he was trashing Julian Assange. Like you're a fucking hypocrite. But then what Jim Acosta said, and I'll let you chime in, RJ. Jim Acosta says he doesn't expect to bring the same crusading style to his coverage of the next administration. I don't think the press should be trying to whip up the Biden presidency and turn it into must-see TV in a contrived way. And this is the worst part. He said if that sounds like it's a double standard, Acosta said it's not partisan. It's a matter of professional solidarity because Trump campaign discredited the press and made it a nonstop national emergency, one that required a defiant response. So what he's saying there, he said the media, he's admitting this in an interview on the record that the media was hard on Donald Trump because he hurt their feelings. That's it. Mm-hmm. Like, he's no different than any of these fucking neoliberal goons when it comes to actual policy. But that he hurt their feelings. And if you think I'm being dramatic, look what Daniel Dale fucking said. Look what Daniel Dale said. If you think Costco was bad, Daniel Dale, like, let me take it to the next level. Let me skip down. Sorry, RD. Right after this, I'll give you the floor here. He said, though he stressed that the same intensity and rigor should be applied to the incoming president, the simple reality is that Biden doesn't nearly lie as often as Trump does. We really gonna let him tell that lie after the fact that he lied about the civil rights movement, being arrested in South Africa. He literally constantly lied about his platform. He already walked back. He constantly his campaign promises. He lied about Iraq War. But this is what they're gonna do this in the Biden administration. Go ahead, RJ. That was my little spill on this.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why they're crying is because their money is crying. Because people are getting turned off from social media, so they're losing money. So now they want to actually hold Trump accountable. Yep. And also, too, Trump's Team Trump Twitter account, where like he has a bunch of campaign staffers put out crazy tweets, and he has people donate to him. So they canceled his team. They suspended his Team Trump account too. So they permanently banned that one as well.
Right.
Which is funny.
Yeah, the last thing they tweeted, I threw it in the Discord chat. They tweeted the Twitter bird, but it was red, and it had the USSR symbol, the sickle and the hammer, and then they just got suspended.
Yep.
Let's see what some of the comments saying. I've been missing that, but go ahead, Jackie. I'm gonna see what some of the comments been saying. Why you go ahead.
Here's why this isn't a great idea. First of all, aside from, I'm hearing a bit of an echo. Is there somebody echoing? Is it just me? No. Okay. Oh. Okay. So here's why this isn't great. Okay. The reason why people were prepared, I'm not talking about the police because they were in on it. But I'm talking about like people who knew, I'm not going near the Capitol today on the 6th. The reason why that happened is because everybody saw the tweets and other people retweeted Parler, right? And just yesterday, I saw people saying, hey, on Parler, they're already saying that they're going to do something on the 20th, only this time it's going to be armed. So, like, those people who went home yesterday, there are more of them that are supposed to be coming out on the 20th. Now, here's the deal. Why is it a good thing to shut down their discourse? Do you think they're not going to continue to organize? No, you're just going to not be informed of it. You're just not going to be aware. They're still going to do what they're going to do. We just won't know it in advance. So they got shut down completely on Twitter and Facebook and Parler. Do you think they didn't have backup plans for communicating with each other and that's just going to stop everything? No, it's just going to stop us from knowing what they're doing. Right. That's one problem that I have with that. Now, am I saying that they should be allowed to incite violence? Absolutely not. I think that every instance of inciting violence should be taken down. Like, a second something goes up, you take it down. I still say that when it comes to the actual president, he's the president. If he wanted to, he could do a press conference right now and say all that shit out loud. Now, if he does, he could easily, Pence could just be like, okay, that's enough. 25th Amendment, like, you're gone. But he could, because he's the president. And I still say it sets a bad precedent. The reason why it sets a bad precedent, aside from what I just said, is also because now we have given all power to these tech companies to decide what is and what isn't acceptable. So now, if they can take down the president of the United States, if we say one thing about Biden, they could suspend our accounts. Which I guarantee you. Also,
go ahead.
Biden just came up with legislation because we were like, yo, if they on the 6th, people like me were saying Biden is going to use this to become more fascist. and the libs are going to cheer him on because it's against Trump, but it's going to be used against us. And that's what he did today. He's already saying, like, yo, we're going to just stop this in its tracks. Except the thing is, it's not going to be used solely against Republicans, especially since Biden essentially is a Republican. Biden is going to use that. Everybody loves to forget that Black Lives Matter and Occupy Wall Street started during the Obama-Biden administration.
That's why I'm getting annoyed with all these people that like they like freaking out. People who not clutching their pearls hard enough at the Capitol attack. I'm like, I get it, it's a big deal, but fucking, they were like, you guys act like this is like kind of fascist behavior is new. Like they people like they was like, this is America, this is not us. We have hundreds of years of violent racism. Hundreds of years of violent racism. And you guys are acting like you guys are fucking shocked at what you're seeing. And you guys getting mad because people are not clutching their pearls hard enough. But go ahead, Jackie. I think I'll cut you off.
I was just going to say, like, that's another thing that irritates the shit out of me. All these people saying, this isn't us. Who the fuck do you think we are?
Right.
What country are you referring
That's some
to?
centrist propaganda bullshit.
The one that was built on. The whole reason why you and I exist right now is because of violence. Like, literally, you and I exist in this country because of violence, because this country was built on violence.
I mean, people.
How the fuck can you just ignore hundreds of years of that shit? Because it never really stopped. It just changed flavor. How are you going to ignore that and be like, this isn't us? Bitch, that's every single day. Ask the kids in cages. They are still there.
What was you about to say, RJ?
Yeah. I said, like, if you look at how the argument I'm making, the merits aren't similar, but the actions are kind of similar. So if you look at how the country is founded, I mean, if you look at some of our founding fathers when they went against the British in the Revolutionary War, I mean, Great Britain at the time said their acts were treasonous, seditionists, as well. And so, I mean, of course, the merits aren't different. But the only reason why it's sedition and treason is if you lose. If you lose, you get punished and you get hung and you get killed. But if you win, it's considered revolutionary and new. But that's kind of the funny argument I was thinking in my head about how weird this is. So yes, it's wrong. The merits are no near similar. That's just the kind of like weird take I was getting from both of it.
So we see how like the big tech companies can take down independent voices they don't like, and how easy they can get it done because the ruling class want the oligarchs to do it. And one thing that me and Jackie and RJ and everyone at the Black Rose Brigade have been warning people about is that once you see Joe Biden, the guy who was the architect of the Patriot Act, who voted for the Patriot Act, who clamped down more on government when him and Obama was president. They prosecuted more journalists than any president. I think the number was like the last 6 or 7 presidents combined, or any presidents combined, because it was an insane amount of number of journalists that they went after. And now that they are taking over in this new media age where you got all these independent journalists coming up, and you're gonna have a new opposition that they've never seen before, because Obama had the starting of the independent media sphere and the internet coming out, and you have people like, wait, Obama's not that good. I mean, the people that first started out, the TRTs, and you see the big names that first started out like 10 years ago, that were like, Obama not good. That was like the intro back then, but there wasn't a lot of real hard-hitting names. Now, we got the Biden administration coming in. You have an insurgent People's Party. You have a giant left independent media sphere. You got active ground roots organization that has been mobilized and radicalized because the Bernie Sanders movement and our failure over the last 2 elections, because that only increased the resolve of a lot of people I've been talking to in terms of being more anti-establishment and doubling down. So now they got to deal with this on the Biden administration. And I'm thinking because I truly believe, because people always say, oh, fucking George Bush is a dumbass, Donald Trump's a dumbass, Joe Biden's a dumbass. I'm like, bro, I don't believe that one bit. They are managers of the ruling class. They know exactly what they're doing. So when I'm thinking like, all right, how would they approach the situation? Obvious thing, and based on what I've been seeing, is cracking down on independent news sources and having a new Patriot Act installed. And that's what they've been doing. They've been hinting this, and this is why I covered Russiagate as critically as I did, because Russiagate was a massive power grab attempt, and they were successful in a lot of ways because they used that to kind of purge like anyone who can post on Facebook. And then they said, okay, we're going to crack down on this misinformation, this Russian misinformation. You know what the most channels they crack down on? Anti-war pages. Anti-war pages got taken down. We A1 in left Twitter see people on left Twitter getting banned left and right. They tried to paint the Russiagate on Bernie Sanders. They tried that technique a few times. They couldn't quite catch fire the way they wanted to though. But they tried. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. They even tried an anti-Semitism attack on him like they did on Jeremy Corbyn, that worked really well against him. But the thing is, Bernie Sanders was Jewish, so he had that protection. But they tried, even though he's Jewish, they're like, we're still gonna try though. They threw everything they had at us. And so when I pull this up, I said they throw everything they have at us. Do you know this is what they're doing right now? And the president they sent is coming at us because this is what Glenn Greenwald had to say. No matter how you feel about this guy, he does good reporting on the government trying to trample our rights away. And this is what he said. There's absolutely a new war on terror being initiated. It's been lurking for a while, just exactly what I've been saying. All the examples I've been giving. Now, once again, I covered Russiagate many times on my show, and I covered these crackdowns on my show. But it's accelerating for obvious reasons, the reason I explained earlier before. The new one is aimed inward, domestically. It entails many of the same framework. So this comes from the Wall Street Journal. Mr. Biden has said he plans to make a priority of passing a law against domestic terrorism. Who decides what this means? Who decides what this means? Do you understand the track record Do you understand the track record that Joe Biden has? Do you understand the track record that Obama and the neoliberal class has going against protesters? Like, can you imagine they had that power during Ferguson, during Standing Rock, during Occupy Wall Street? I mean, there was a lot of activists that got mysteriously murdered back then. But we can stay on subject. That's a whole nother bag of worms that a lot of people don't want to talk about. But you see how Obama and Biden did to those protesters during his time. What the fuck do you think they're going to do to Black Lives Matter? They protested his police state. The police state that he want to prop up and give more money. The one that he ran into existence with the crime bill. So you give him this power. You think he's going to use it just against right wingers? I give he may go after some. It's great PR. It's a win-win. Why wouldn't he? But you think he's not going after the left? Is that seriously the people who are cheering this on uncritically? Because once again, you see the title. I can laugh at Trump. I'm laughing at Trump because I'm like, okay, this is not new to me. This happened to everyone I know. So I might as well laugh at the clown. But the people who are not looking at this critically based on what they're actually doing, you're not being serious. You got to look at the long term. The precedent, just like Jackie says.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
Chris Morlock said, I was just getting to some of the comments here. Y'all don't know any Trumpers. They've been talking about that stuff for months. The cops invited them into the building. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It was a photo op. Trump called it off at 3 p.m. and they all fouled out. So I kind of discussed this when we did the stream talking about this. I'm like, the cops are allied with MAGA, and the cops are designed to protect white supremacy. I can easily see them having undercover cops. I can see them being part of the organization to get this photo op, just like you're saying. That's why I love that comment that Chris laid out. Because this could have easily been a photo op moment for Trump, but I think it went what's the phrase I'm thinking of? Over the rails. it went too far, because that's why you had Ted Cruz, who's taking a lot of heat today. Ted Cruz was literally giving a speech, and this is why A1 called for him to resign, because he gave a speech like, yeah, you guys got to stand for your rights. You guys got to fight. You guys got to make sure you stand up for our democracy because it's been rigged against us. And that's why A1 going hard against Ted Cruz right now, because he gave that speech. But why do you think he gave that speech? Pictures. Photo op. Ted Cruz are lined up with Donald Trump. And guess who got Senate race coming up? And now you hearing about cops, like, they literally opened the fucking gates. They opened the gates. Bro, let me see if I can find the tweet. But I saw this tweet earlier before. I might bookmark. I can pull it up here soon after I let you guys chime in. But there was really protests at Capitol Hill during the Obama years. There was like right pre-Obama when they were doing the transition. So they were protesting George Bush and all the veterans that died because of his war. So you have veterans that was protesting at Capitol Hill. Hundreds was arrested. They couldn't even get close. U.S. veterans that was protesting against war crimes. This is what the people had a good point. They were like, this is not a revolution, because they just cheering on their guy. the Trump people, they were just protesting because of guidance when they was actually protesting anything that worth the fuck. The people that was actually protesting something that was worth the fuck, ending the war. I'm gonna find the story so you guys can see what I'm talking about here soon. But they protesting the war and they couldn't get anywhere near the inside the building. I saw a picture of the massive arrest. So they did that back then. You think they didn't let MAGA people in? What the fuck? We will never. Go ahead.
On Twitter.
You said what?
I just tagged you. Check your Twitter. I just tagged you in something.
All right, cool. Let me check it out. But you think
it does have to do with what you're saying, so I'm not just being an
yes, cool. Let me check that. But I think RJ, do you want to chime in? Anyone want to chime in on based on what I'm saying? While I look for that.
No, you're good. I'm good.
Let me find it here. Yeah, holy shit, this guy hella likes the one he tagged me in. Damn, I didn't see this one either. Like there was so much, and I was trying to not be on Twitter as long as I was. Like it was insane how much time I spent on Twitter that day. Everything was going on. But this is one of them. The original tweets that confirmed that some of the police were involved in the Capitol attack yesterday. Let's see the video.
He's literally ushering them in.
Wow, bro! See, this is the thing. I feel like we will never know the real story. Like a lot of this stuff is gonna come out, and a lot of stuff is gonna be exposed. But unless there's some massive leaks and massive whistleblowers, like people like on their deathbed, I think we really not gonna know how bad this shit was. Because like I said, I have my basic theory based on common sense. Like people, like once again, all my conclusions I come to, they sound like conspiracy theory to broken brain partisans, but it's just basic common sense to me. Like when I look at how they was let in compared to how other people who were protesting on Capitol Hill, the one regarding the anti-war vest was just one. I saw a whole thread detailing all the time people protested Capitol Hill and how literally it was fucking impossible to get anywhere close as they did now. And you had cops literally let them in, taking selfies with them. And this is not coordinated. And you guys want to fucking clutch your pearls because I'm not completely freaking out like you guys are. Because I'm like, bro, this shit is fucking bullshit. This is the fascism that me and Jackie said just another fucking Tuesday. Like, there's nothing new to me. And to the extent what they actually were. To me, the tweets I was making the most during this day, the day where a few people got mad at me because I was making my dark humor jokes. But I was like, I tweeted multiple times about defund the police during this. You know why? Because this is a great argument against it. Because I've been saying that the police is designed to prop up white supremacy. And I literally, the points I was making on my show is that you had the establishment that props up and they amplify right-wing protests. Meanwhile, they cramp down on left-wing protests. I talk about that and gave many examples on that before. This is literally the greatest example of that. The fucking establishment, based on the police, let them in. This has never happened before. Unseen. They let them do this shit. Compared with how they treated Black Lives Matter and the vet protest. And you guys act like this is not fucking some sort of nefarious thing that we don't even know about yet. So that's what I'm saying. Defund the police because they not even fucking doing their job. They will use rubber bullets and shot and one person died. During the whole time this whole thing been going on, I said they would have been cleaning up bodies if Black Lives Matter did what they did.
Whoa, what do you mean they're not doing their job? They're literally doing their job. They were told to usher them in and to escort them to the proper location. That's what they were doing.
Yep.
They just don't work for the people you think they're supposed to work for.
That's
we have this notion that the police are to protect and serve us. They are to protect and serve property and the people who own that property.
Liberals still believe that shit too. Public. Liberals still believe that shit too. That's why I'm a strong advocate of defund because I'm literally asking, I'm begging, what is your guys' fucking responses to my argument? Because they are deeply unserious. This is why I say they're deeply unserious people. Because I'm making these arguments on why we should defund the police and why it's bullshit. I think my stream frozen? I think my video is frozen. But they still believe that cops prevent crime. That's what they still believe. God damn it. One second, I gotta restart my Discord. Jesus fuck. So I don't think Yeah, I think my Discord is acting up big time. Damn. This shit sucks. Can y'all hear me? This shit sucks, man. This shit sucks. Yeah, they said the FBI found us. I can't hear you, Jackie, cause I think the Discord that's just completely fucking crashed, and it's not open. I can't get it to work. Well, we did an hour. We almost got an hour today. I tried. Let me see if I just close it. I can't even Task Manager close it. This is crazy. All right, I got that. Hold up. Okay. Mel, you already know what time it is. I can't be doing this right now because my computer about to blow up. My computer cannot handle all this. Alright, so it took me a long time to get my Discord back.
Oh, hey, you're back.
Yeah, it was literally Discord. It was Discord that was fucking up.
Bro, Zoom.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I need to get the Zoom membership. But we almost are in. We can still keep talking, but I don't think we're gonna be long enough to switch to Zoom now. But I'm definitely gonna do that. Don't feel like fucking paying for Zoom.
Keep talking. We'd have to start talking because I don't know if people have been hearing anything this whole time.
I think they've been hearing us.
They hear us.
They can hear. Yeah, they can hear y'all now because I'm back on Discord. They can hear me, but I don't think they can hear you guys because I couldn't hear you guys. Couldn't hear anything you guys were saying. But they should be. They should be able to hear you now. I know because I know the chat was talking trash on me too because you got Forgiven Chief literally leading the charge. She leading the charge trying to turn the crowd against me. It's cool though. It's cool. I'm actually surprised I didn't have a lot of people leave. So A1C, the level of production you can expect at the Progressive Martial Arts Show right now, as it is right now.
By now. Yeah. Sad.
Like, the thing is, with the whole Trump getting suspended, if Twitter had waited until after the transfer of power and Biden becoming president and Trump then becomes a private citizen, and then they're like, nah, your account is gone, I'd be like, you know what, that's fine. Like, if they had waited until he was a private citizen again, I would just be like, well, get fucked. Like,
yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way. Like, just 2 weeks. Wait 2 weeks and then be like, hey, you know what? You incited a lot of shit while you were president. Not cool. Okay, we're gonna ban your account. But you remember when the courts were like, he can't block anyone because he's president, and everybody has the right to see what the president's saying? Yeah, I feel like the president should apply to the entire account.
So to be fair, he still has the actual Twitter account of the president. Like, there's an actual Twitter account of the president of the United States.
The thing is that he has it still, but Twitter won't ban that because, of course, Biden needs it. So they're trying. So they said the only way they'll ban it unless Trump is like incredibly egregious, then they'll ban it. And what I find about big tech is surprising. Parler is its own separate social media account. But we've seen now Twitter side with Google and Apple, because Apple and Google, in order to get the app, you have to have a phone or a platform to use it from, because most people use Twitter or these social media apps from their phone. Google and Apple are both trying to get rid of Parler from their platforms if they don't change to these rules that they have, which to me is shocking about how fast the big tech can work together.
So if you guys... So if anyone don't believe what I'm saying, that they've been saying this up for a while, and this is not the same thing they did during the War of Terror. Look at what Greenwald had to say. He continues on. This is the same tactic that critics of the first War of Terror had used on the new one. Once again, they're not that creative, the ruling class. I said this before. They literally use the same playbook over and over and over again. I'm watching the smears of Black Lives Matter on the smears that the liberal media class and conservatives lay on Black Lives Matter is literally the same here at the civil rights movement. The sit-ins I covered on my show. I literally showed public perception on those kind of things and the talking points they used against them. The Russian bot accusation I'm hit with all the time, they use that on Martin Luther MLK. Hope you guys realize that. Communist training school. My point being, they don't come up with new tactics because why change why fix was not broken. They know this stupid transparent shit in my eyes. It works on the American public. It's why I said Americans are the most propagandized country in the world. There's a lot of propagandized countries out there, but we are among the worst. We're a country that give all our fucking funds to billionaires while people starve. 1 out of 4 children live in poverty. We see the result of trickle down economics. And you got people that still believe in this shit. How is that not the most propagandized shit in the country? You got fucking millions of Americans going in poverty. Meanwhile, fucking Elon Musk is becoming the most richest man in the planet. He just passed Jeff Bezos. I think he made like 180 billion during a fucking pandemic, and people still propping him up, and people don't believe we are the most propagandized country in the world. So I don't want to hear shit. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. He got passed up by Elon Musk, and this happened during the pandemic. He made an insane amount of money, and then but people don't think we propagandize. And you got people that literally stand him. Everyone who's on Twitter. It's infamous the amount of stands that Elon Musk have. You think that we're not propagandized? That's why I'm like, I don't want to hear shit, and this is why I don't spend any time criticizing other fucking countries. You got people that try to attack like tankies and shit for like because they may be sympathetic of another government that we objectify our entire lifespan of a country. I mean, my focus is not on them, but if you are focusing on other countries. Is that what you focus on? You want to criticize Russia? If you want to criticize any of the leftist governments? Meanwhile, our country, the most propagandized, we having our rights cracked down on. We have police shooting and killing black men in the streets. And you guys want to fucking talk about Russia? You want to talk about North Korea? You want to talk about China? You want to talk about all this other shit? Putin ain't no shit to me. Putin is not the reason why black people are being shot by the police. But anyway, let's go back to the Green Wall. Look, this is what they did. So he points out how they are literally using the Trump protests. I don't want to see anything regarding Tucker Carlson, but this is what they're using. They're using this talking point as a pretext to crack down on domestic terrorism, which will lead to precedent, which we said multiple times already on the show, me and Jackie. That's gonna come back on the left. Again, it always does. Why do you think none of the true anti-establishment revolutionaries are alive today? This is the government you trust. Anything you guys want to chime out? I went on my little rant there, but that's what I was saying in the first place. I mean, like, I don't trust unaccountable oligarchs who had the problem censoring people.
Yeah, Jackie, I sent you like a DM of another footage of another politician letting these Trump people inside the Capitol. I sent that in your DMs.
For giving she said, Yang Gang is in love with Elon Musk. Yeah, Yang Gang. There is a lot of those independent tech bros that love Elon Musk, and Yang Gang have a lot of them. I mean, I actually get with Mutuals a lot of them. I don't know if they still follow me. I mean, I've seen a lot of Yang Gang people that will follow me, and I'll see them like and retweet Elon Musk and shout like, hell no, unfollow. The fuck? I literally seen that a lot, like the blue hats. I don't know if they like troll counts, to be fair to the Yang Gang, but they 100% was I did see a lot of them that liked Elon, and that's super fucking weird to me. What comments am I missing here? The void do not get Jackie started. He said Yang is cool, but his fans are weird as fuck. I'm not saying anything. I ain't getting canceled today. Just let him go. Let him go. It's cool. Let's see what you want to talk. Let's see what you want to talk about while I look for some more chats too. Cause we about an hour in. I wasn't gonna do a long one. This is late night show today. So obviously I don't think I'm doing 3 hours today. Let's see.
Okay, so Chris just said, Chris Progress, there's not censorship in regards to Trump. He broke the terms and conditions to which he agreed when he signed up. And then, well, Sienna, you're here. I just realized like you're actually on the call. You can say it.
I was being silent this whole time. Sorry, but yeah, Chris said that he broke the term. Like the term he's the president. He's still the president until the transfer of power in 2 weeks, and the courts literally said he cannot block anyone because everyone has to see the tweets of the president. But Twitter suspends him permanently. And suddenly everyone's like, we don't really need to see his tweets. Like, no, the courts even said that everyone has to see what the president tweets.
Yeah, I just saw the discussion that you guys were having. That's why. Go ahead, Jackie.
My point on this was, like what Chris was talking about, that he broke the terms and conditions. Okay, so on the tweets where he broke the terms and conditions, you can censor those, or you can delete those. I have no problem with that, because you're saying, okay, he's inciting violence, take down those tweets, but he's still the president. We should still see everything else. By deleting his account, we lose all of that, and that should stay. That should remain public record.
He'll be on MySpace.
That's why my solution always comes back to break up big tech, because even if you want to make that argument, once again, I don't even have to argue from my position. I can argue from the other position. If you want to argue from the position that you want to ban someone because of terms of condition, it's inherently dangerous to have a constellation of media power into a very small group's hands. So we should have more options. We should have more avenues available to us to communicate. So if you just get banned on one outlet, you should have other outlets. Like this monopoly goes against even what capitalists say they're supposed to believe in. So how is it that you have people who are socialists, people on the left, that are more in tune of what the beliefs you guys say you're supposed to be for? Because you guys are supposed to be for competition. You guys say we pro competition. Supposed to have multiple businesses competing against each other. We literally had these laws on the books that Reagan literally rolled back on. That part of the deregulation. To prevent, they had a lot of. I'm blanking on the name, the term I'm looking for, but they have regulation in place to stop them from creating monopolies. But the Republicans joined by the Democrats because they became Reagan Republicans, and it was rolled back even more under Bill Clinton, where they were like, okay, we're gonna roll back a lot of these regulations on monopoly. Yeah, antitrust laws. Yeah, I'm a moron. I was blanking on that. Antitrust laws.
A lot of this started in the 70s, actually, with Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
especially with the agriculture industry.
Yeah, so that's during the era of neoliberalism that we see now. So you're 100% correct. So yeah, and this is the kind of stuff I'm like, bro, you don't have to be a socialist to call for that. Like, what I'm saying is the very moderate position, isn't it? Because I know I can be easily outflanked on the left. I hear people that outflank me on the left easily, because there's another thing, you can just nationalize all this. Because I'm for that too. I'm not pushing only one solution. There's a lot of good solutions. Nationalizing is another good one, because that way.
I see a good comment here in chat. It says, "Think of the president. Question: If Bernie called for a national general strike, could the powers that be just call that an insurrection?"
Yes.
I see that.
And that's exactly our point. That's what we're trying to say. This is going to be immediate. I don't think once get why people don't see this. What Biden is doing will immediately be used against us.
Yep.
That's the whole point. He gives two shits about what happened on Wednesday. He did this because, and everybody's like, he already had that power. Yes. Well, actually, technically, no, he didn't, because we do have the First Amendment. This is an attempt to subvert the First Amendment, because now you can claim that anybody who's like, look at the language of that. Anyone who wants to affect or change, what was it? It was something like affect or change the general public's opinion or something. You know, kind of like when someone says, hey, we should do a national strike or we should do a general strike. They're going to be like, that's terrorism. You're going against the government, going against the system. And they're going to immediately shut that down. Yep, that is the point of this bill. They give two shits about what happened the other day. In fact, some people have actually said that it was possibly it was straight out of like the CIA PSYOP playbook. You have them do it in order to get this in place, in order to stop last year with all the protests erupted, nationwide, even worldwide, in order to prevent that from happening this year when Biden gets in office and then pivots to immediately not doing shit. In order to prevent it from getting worse, they're like, oh, we'll just shut that down right now. So if you guys even attempt to organize a general strike or even say you're going to do a protest, tech companies will shut your account down. And if you do somehow organize it, we will come after you and we'll just arrest you and we'll call you a terrorist.
Jay was pretty much just agreeing with you. He's saying, yep, everything goes back around. He said nationalizing Twitter is a great idea. Like I said, I'm open for all those ideas. Like I don't want to hear people just like I said in my Twitter today. Like if you're just bitching about this and you're to the right of my idea of nationalizing Twitter, doing that kind of stuff, I don't want to hear it. You're just fucking performing at this point. I'm sure you guys agree with me on Sunday Solutions, because I am against the censorship. But if you're like I'm mostly looking at the right wingers here when I'm saying this, because I'm not seeing a lot of I ain't been on Twitter, but I ain't seeing a lot of liberals doing it. So I'm pointing mostly just at the right wing. I don't want to hear you complain and cry about Trump being banned on Twitter if you're still not supportive in what I'm saying. And this is why I don't jump to and cry to the defense of Donald Trump and Alex Jones, because they don't ever say anything when the left is cracked down on. So I'm not gonna be your tool. You use it. I don't understand why people always want to run to the defense. Like there's a lot of stuff that's happening to the left, and like you see the progressive would be like you see people on the left who would be censored. And then a lot of these big names, they won't say shit about that, but then Alex Jones will get censored, and then they see opportunity to get some clicks. I'm not going to name one out, but you guys know what I'm talking about. My point is, if they're not going to show that concern to the left, I don't want to hear it. Is your concern, if you're one of the Trumpers who mad about Trump getting banned on Twitter, do you want nationalized Twitter? Is that something that you're interested in? Make it a public utility like Jackie just said? Like, are you for that?
So
but go ahead.
Things. First of all, someone just asked, what does nationalizing Twitter mean? So I think we should clarify that. Secondly, I want to specify, when I raise concerns over what they just did, I give two fucks about it being Trump himself. It's the precedent that it sets. It's what I don't give a shit about what happened yesterday or the day before. I'm looking at what they're going to use this to do tomorrow and the day after that. Yep. So that is all I'm thinking about. I don't give a fuck about Trump not having a Twitter account. I genuinely don't. I felt like I was following him anyway. It's specifically the precedent that this sets and what they're going to do with this power in the future. That's my entire look at this. I give zero fucks about Trump or anybody following him.
Yeah.
So we're clear.
Yeah, that's literally what I was saying as well. I'm saying like I don't. Our number one concern, instead of cheerleading the fact that Trump got banned, I'm looking at my title. I laugh at it. I think it's funny, but we need to come up with game plans to make sure that we're not targeted next. I mean, we already have been targeted, but that's why we got to advocate for these actual transformative changes to make sure that they can't go after us. We got to be staunch on the First Amendment, and that literally branches out to other issues that I cover on my show all the time, like the Fourth Amendment, cracking down on the Patriot Act. Like when you see Joe Biden and the Democratic Party in the administration and their media goons propping up the idea that we should have a harsh regimentation of society, which is fascism, cracking down on journalism, Julian Assange, cracking down on domestic terrorism, which pretty much mean cracking down on anyone who organized against what they are saying. Because what that means. Like if there's a war going on that they want to push, if Joe Biden want to push a war, and you had demonstrators that want to protest at Capitol Hill, are you cracking down on that? Like what does that mean? So as a left, and this is the point I was making all the time, the post Bernie Sanders left need to expand on the idea what he put on his platform. Take the best on all these people that you like. And once again, we had someone in the comments that said they like Yang. Fair enough. That's fair enough. But take all the things that you like out of what he has. Take all the stuff that Bernie Sanders has. Take all the stuff that whoever you like, throw together, whatever it is, and then add on to that. Add on. That's the future of the left, and that's what I want to see. But we are over. I was gonna do a long late night show, But I want to do the late night shows about once or twice a week. I have fun doing. Trying to catch a different audience. 'Cause I know some people may be working while I used to do my usual streams or whatever. But anyway, I got some. I'm working on a few projects as well. I can't. I'll probably announce it here eventually pretty soon. But we see how it worked out. I got some calls we got to make this weekend. But I appreciate everyone who supported my channel so far because 2020 was designed to be. Well, 2020 wasn't designed. It was. This will happen to be my breakout year, and then 2021, my goal was to get legitimacy as an independent journalist. It's gonna be kind of hard to do with my computer crashing in the middle of a stream, but we be fine. We're gonna get there. But anyway, if you like and enjoy the stream, please like, subscribe.